Hey guys, BAKD here. In today's video, we are going to go over the Sun Chaser nanocore. Let's go ahead and switch our screen over. If you guys haven't seen my video on how to get this core for a battle cruiser, you've got about an 80% chance, and it's going to be fairly cheap to attempt. Now, if we go into our fittings and click on our nanocore here, a Golden Age nanocore. For the Activate Sun Chaser system, you do activate that as your primary attribute if you want to use this mechanic. They do have missile damage and flight velocity, which this can be a viable core if you do not have one for your battleship or battle cruiser, to say the least. The battleship one costs anywhere from about 750 million-ish to 1.5 bill, depending how lucky you are. I got away with spending about 500 mil, and I got it on my second attempt. But anyways, you want to activate the Sun Chaser system. Down here they have one which costs these darn things, triangulars. I wouldn't really recommend it, but they have warp stabs, maximum jump range, which is huge, and the fuel usage isn't that big of a deal. Uses anywhere from 200 to about 500 plasmoids per use. So I wouldn't even recommend the fuel usage unless you want to save like a mil or two per jump. So that is the nanocore itself. I'm going to be doing this on a battle cruiser and a battleship and show you how the fleet warp mechanics work and how the actual core itself works. So if you click the little bookmark tab there, you can click on the far right is going to be your Sun Chaser beacons. When you use this specific core to jump, you will jump to the sun at a random place every single time. Since I am not close enough, you have to be within 4 light years away, which I haven't quite found a good calculation on, but I'll get a rough estimate here in a little bit on how the calculations work. But what we're going to do is hit jump navigation. You see a better fuel usage distance thing pops up here. I'm still not close enough to use any of them. If we go ahead and click this tab right here and do all beacons, you can do this when you are not cloaked. If you are cloaked, you cannot access this. But you can see a list of all the different places we can warp to. One of which is Jita here, 19.5 light years away. And we are 15 jumps away, so that doesn't seem like that far, but that is very far away. So we can't go from our null set gate, Kabi, to Jita very easily. We have to get within, I think, 5 or 10 jumps to be reasonable. Now, the closest one is Maspa, 4.72 light years. That's maybe 2 or 3 jumps away. Let's go ahead and just go into our map and see for ourselves. Oops. So you can do jump navigation through the star map as well. Now this one is only 9 jumps away, but it is very close in terms of relativity there. Jita was all the way across the map, somewhere over in that area. So you can imagine they probably calculate this on kilometers, so kilometer between gate, and there's probably a whole bunch of kilometers in between there and Jita. But if we go a little bit closer, I'll be right back when we can jump to Maspa. Now, just one thing, I am in nullsec now. You cannot use this core in nullsec to quickly escape or anything. If we open up, not that one, our bookmarks again, even though there are no beacons right now, you cannot do this in nullsec for a quick escape. Now, another cool feature, if you open up your fleet journal with somebody in your fleet, you can do a request fleet. jump there. You still have to be within 4 light years away, but this might be a cool way of staying a couple systems out to try to jump people, per se. But you go ahead and do a request jump, and it sends a request to B8 Miner Man. So my guy is in JITA right now. When I do confirm, let's get that out of the way, I get a little timer counting down. I can click this button right there on my this account and open it up, or you go into Fleet Journal, open up the little cog and request jumps. You can hit approve there, and I'm gonna do it, and you'll see the message. It's gonna say it is 19.5 light years away and we're only able to jump 4. So once I get closer to JITA, we're gonna try it again. I have no fuel in my cargo hold right now, so we're going to see the error message that happens when you don't have enough fuel and when you do have enough fuel. So, I'll see you back in JITA. This gate, let's just say this gate's closest to JITA. If I warp to this gate 16 AU away, the jump navigation does not change unless you take the actual warp gate. So it doesn't really matter if I warp to this gate, or this gate. This system in general will be exactly 2.07 light years away. Now I don't have enough fuel for it, so let's do our quick test without fuel really quick. And let's go here and let's request our jump. And let's approve it. So this module requires 41,000 fuel. So let's go get some fuel and then do our requested fleet jump. Alright, so here we are. We got some fuel in the cargo hold. I think we got 600 fuel. I'm going to do our fleet request jump first. Now after this, I'm going to try if you're disrupted, if you can warp out, if you're within 4 light years of an actual place to jump to. One way you can do this, of course, is going in here, going to this, and JITA now appears on the light years things. You can just click that and route there quickly. But that's not what I want to try today. Let's do our requested fleet warp. My guy is inside of the station. So we're going to request the jump. We are going to approve the jump. And you go into this little wormhole and instantly, anywhere on the map, you warp. Now it brings you to JITA's sun at a random location. It's never the same. We got a few things here. Of course you get a cloak timer since I was on the gate. Jump fatigue, we have 49 minutes until we can use the jump drive again. A longer fatigue will lead to a longer jump drive cooldown before the next jump. So that was like a 2 UI jump and a 50-minute cooldown. So that's actually a pretty long time. Drive cooldown status, use a jump drive. During the cooldown, the jump drive cannot be used to jump. So I'm not too sure what the difference is. Maybe if you do like a really short jump, this jump fatigue status can be lower than the cooldown or something. So this has to be a 5-minute timer for all jumps. But that was about 2 light years, so gave us a 50-minute cooldown with a 5-minute timer. Now, as I know, skills do not affect the jump drive, get carriers to jump or whatnot, and it does not affect jump drive operation. This does not affect anything like the max range. This only applies to these jump drive navigations, not the actual core itself. But okay, let's head to a low sec system. Let's disrupt ourselves and see if we can jump out of it with and without stabs. Now I forgot to put in there, but it used 240 plasmoids just for that 2 light year jump. Alright, so for my next test here, I am going to disrupt my Oracle. I do not have enough stabs equipped, so I'm going to go ahead and engage my Disruptor. Okay, I am now disrupted. I'm going to go ahead and try to warp this account out now. Let's go to Austingale. External factors are preventing me from warping. Alright, so let's go ahead and re-equip a warp core optimizer or a warp core, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we go. You do need full capacitor for you to jump drive off, so you cannot do this in the heat of a battle. So let's say you're halfway through Friends by Blood in your Oracle and you try to jump drive off. It will not work. I didn't bring a capacitor battery, but it does not allow you to jump even with warp stabs if your capacitor is not, I think, 95% full. But if we do this, it requires a little bit more juice on my capacitor for me to jump off. So now I'm just waiting for my capacitor to get to the, I think it's 90 or 95%. Okay, we now have enough capacitor. Let's go ahead and open this up and do our light year away. Now if you see that, it was a instantaneous warp off. That's pretty key to say the least. Let's go ahead and stealth my other account up. I did get a 30-minute fatigue. It was a 1.2 light years away, so it's a shorter fatigue and a shorter jump drive status. It warped me directly to the sun, of course, but it was, the key thing here, it was instantaneous. There was no align time, there was no anything like that. It just immediately warped. It would be good to know if it worked if you had a capacitor battery, and I might try that next. Alright, so this is my last and final test. Of course, I just have a regular combat timer, but my capacitor should be low enough where I can't warp. Let's go ahead and unlock this thing. Let's pop our cat battery. And let's see if our Sun Chaser will allow us to warp. So it does not. It has to be 5600. Even with the cat battery, it will not allow you to, so that is definitely something to take into account. Your actual capacitor has to be upwards to the 90 to 95% range for you to actually engage it. Last but not least, I'm going to head over to this null set gate. I'm going to jump the gate and try this last test. I know I said you can't jump from null sec into low sec, but I have not tested it yet, and this system is close enough to that ITC for me to be able to warp to it. So I'll be right back. Alright, this is my last and final test. Let's go ahead and get a little bit closer to the gate. Now I am currently in nullsec, and if we open up our Sun Chaser, we do have this light year 2.6 Austingale. Let's go ahead and just try to warp. System cannot jump security gaps, so you cannot warp from nullsec. That proved my point there. Well guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully this answered some of your questions on how this nanocore works. The only valid thing might be if somebody's doing a storyline, you can put your alt a couple systems away and then jump to the sun if you get jumped or something. Or if you have nearby friends, they can jump quickly. But the 4 light year thing isn't very far, to be honest. It's like 3 to about 8 jumps depending where you are. I haven't really found the best use for this core yet, so definitely let me know in the comments if you found something more interesting you can use this core on. Also, if you guys have any questions, you can ask below and hopefully I can answer them. But that's going to do it for this video, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.